Hey guys, hello everyone. Just a second. Hello, hi. Hey, hi. How are you? I hope is every. Hi Navin, how are you? Hi Tanisha. Wishing everyone a very happy New Year. Firstly, hello. Hi Gayatri. Happy New Year to everyone. I hope this year be the best year of your life. Hello, hello. Hi. I'm good, Sufyan. How are you? I hope everyone is doing great. Firstly, सबको wishing everyone a very, very, very happy new year. So today I'm live for a very special session, and I'm really excited. Uh, you're not visible clearly. Yeah, you are visible.
Yeah,
Hi,
yeah, managed it.
hi. How are you?
Hi.
So hello, everyone.
Oh,
Live
good. How are
with
you?
one of the authors that I recently discovered, and I love her book. So Bajita Visser is with here. She is the author of Becoming Authentically Me. So just go ahead and introduce yourself.
Um, Hi, Richard. Thank you so much for having me. Well, yeah, I'm Brigitte, and Brigitte Visser. I'm currently based in Spain, even though I'm Dutch. But yeah, I've written a book called Becoming Authentically Me. I'm a soul empowerment coach, a divine channel, and a light
Wow.
language healer.
And Barkita, it was so good connecting with you, and we finally are doing this. I'm so happy. Wishing you a very, very happy new year. Firstly, I would say this, and I would start with what is your 2024's resolution? Do you make resolutions usually?
Oh, do you know what? I knew you were going to ask me that, funnily enough. But, oh, what is it? I mean, do you know what? Do we really need to have a new year to make changes within ourselves? We don't really, do we? I mean, I'm just continuing on from 2023, and that is really about following my passions. I will be very honest. You know, last year I was working about 60, 70 hours a week, pretty much constant, because I had a full, two times a full-time role within the same
Mm-hmm.
company. And that was really an experience for me. And I've always been like that, but this was too much. And I came to realize, you know, all my spiritual work was kind of left by the wayside, even though I was still doing quite a bit. But life is really about following your passions, and it doesn't matter what that is, whether it's caring for a family, it's whatever, you know, makes your own heart and soul
Yeah.
dance. But for me, it's finishing, well, I have a collaboration book coming out
Yes.
in April, and then I'm writing my book on India, which is nearly done.
Wow.
Of my time spent at the Art of Living Center in Bangalore. And it's all about the breath work, you know, because we live in such a transformative um, transformative, especially 2024 is going to be a very transformative year for many, many people. And a lot of people will have done the groundwork in the last couple of years, especially 2023, where many people have gone through things because old wounds have resurfaced. And that's really a beautiful, beautiful thing, you know, because life is about, it's really about experiencing everything. It's an experiment to experience. That's how I see it. But that's kind of my 2024. I'm just going to take it as it goes, and I'm just going
Go
to
with the
flow
flow.
with, you know, go with the flow of the
Yeah,
universe.
absolutely, absolutely. And just tell me, where did the writer thing come in you? Were you always a writer, or it just the universe made you a writer?
Yeah, absolutely. The universe did that. It wasn't like, it was like one day I just sat down and it just started flowing. And, you know, I've been through a lot in my life, and a lot in my life, and I studied many healing modalities. I've been through a lot of trauma that I've overcome, and I just needed to put everything into a book. So it just started to flow, and it was actually amazing. And I finished it, and I thought, I didn't even think, honestly, what an achievement. It was really more for, you know, for others to be
Hmm.
inspired,
Absolutely.
that, you know, yeah, that you can overcome anything. Anything is possible. It doesn't matter what kind of trauma you're going through, because even as a child, you know, I was abused, and people say, well, how can you forgive someone that's done that
Hmm.
to you? And I always say, how can you not, when you are love at your core? That is your core essence. We've just forgotten, because we've been so socially conditioned that we've forgotten who we most authentically are.
Exactly. And I think that's a very beautiful message. And firstly, I would like to give you a cheers, because you have gone through and you have come out of it more wiser, more bold, and more of a forgiver, and not someone who takes revenge. And I think that's an achievement in itself. You have grown as a self. So tell me, Brigitta, what is your definition of authenticity? How do you define something as authentic?
Yeah, good point. Get asked that quite a lot. What is, you know, people ask me, what is authenticity? What does
Yeah,
this even mean in this day and age? How do we become our authentic
exactly.
selves? And that's really the easiest way I can explain it is, you've got to experience life. And whatever you go through, I compare it to like an onion. Whatever we go through, whatever experience we go through, and we have to heal from, we peel back an onion layer, and we cry, we alchemize, we heal. You know, we come to that place of acceptance, and we start to heal. And then we go through something else, and we're a little bit wiser. We understand life a little bit more. And every time we go through anything that's difficult in our lives, we stop and we analyze, rather than huffing and puffing like the big bad wolf and we moan about it. No, take a step back and look at things from a different perspective. Why is this experience, or why is this person, you know, getting under my skin? What is it that I need to heal within myself? And that's a different way to look at it, rather than letting the ego go ballistic, you know. And it's taking that deep breath. And that's what it's really about. And trust me, I always say mea culpa, because I've been there, done that, worn the t-shirt, and where I was just huffing and puffing. But there is no point, because, you know, our emotions are energy in motion. And all we do is, as I always say, um, when we get anxious, or we have that fear, because fear is just a beta blocker in the mind, it's like we short circuit ourselves, and we create dis-ease within ourselves. Because let's face it, Richard, I mean, the biggest medicine cabinet is within us.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's very beautiful, as you said, that we heal from within.
Yes,
Very,
yes,
very
absolutely.
beautiful. So now that your book is coming, another book is coming in collaboration in April, and you're also writing a book about India, as you said. Would you like to throw
Yes.
light on that?
Yeah, so that's like my first book. I mean, I channeled the many masters talking about life and overcoming trauma, and this one I talk about the Art of Living Center, the basic course and the advanced course that I both did. The different culture, even though I'm part Indian, on side, yes,
Wow.
but. Yeah, I loved Bangalore. I went to a Nadi Leaf astrologer, but they couldn't find my Nadi. I mean, I learned so much, especially about
Mm,
meditation, and that was really, really important. And I still use the breath work today.
yeah.
I still use that today because many people shallow breathe and they live very shallow, on the surface of themselves,
Yeah.
rather than deep breathing, where you live very deep and it's deep and profound. Um, so that was really, really important. But also, I channeled the many other Indian masters like Kali,
Uh,
Krishna,
yeah.
Ganesh. But I channel them. So you see, anybody that channels them, it doesn't really matter, but some will have some will channel them very serious, but they always come through um, with
Mm,
lightheartedness.
yeah. And
Yeah,
I'm also very glad that you are so much aware of the culture, people here. I am actually
yeah,
surprised and honored, and I'm really grateful that we're having like a chance to talk and just have a conversation. So, talking about becoming authentically me, when did the
yep.
book started processing in your mind, and how much time you took to write, to research, and to create this masterpiece? I would say.
About 21 years.
Wonderful.
I kid you not. I kid you not. I think I started in 2000, even in
Ah,
1999. And
wonderful.
but life took over and there were so many more experiences I needed to go through because I went through several dysfunctional relationships, abuse of a different kind. I was a pro at starving myself, absolute pro. And I worked like a maniac because these were things I could control. So I needed to go through so much more and learn so much more about myself and overcome to become who I am at this point in time. Um, so yeah, and finally I published that we're in 2024, 2022.
Mm, yeah, a year back.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
wonderful. And as you said just now that you worked like a maniac, you worked a lot. And
yeah.
now that not working as much as you used to, do you feel grateful or do you feel guilty?
No, no, I do not feel guilty one bit because let me tell you something, and even to everybody listening here, if you love your job, that is great. Um, but remember, if you're working in a corporate
Mm.
environment and you were to get hit by a bus tomorrow, God forbid, they would replace you in the space of 3 weeks. Yeah, so that's why, is work really that important? Yeah, sure, we
Yeah,
need to pay our bills. That's what I call that 3D grid of consciousness. But it's really about following your own heart and your own passions. What do you enjoy doing? What do you want out of life? And I think that's a very important, that's a very key component as we're shifting, because the earth is also shifting, but as we're shifting our consciousness.
absolutely. That's very beautiful because, as you said, that people will replace you as soon as possible, especially in the
Yes.
work sector, and it's absolutely true. No one is going to wait for you. They just find a replacement. That is way easier. So now we know that what made you right, but as you said, your inner calling, your purpose. So how do you define your purpose, and what do you think is your purpose?
Wow, wait, you know what? I'm still a work in progress too. But for me, it's really helping other people, inspiring other people to become the best version of themselves. I always say we're very much teachers, we're very much reflections of one another, and we're all here to walk one another back home to the light of ourselves. because life is merely an experience. I always say life is merely returning to a love for ourselves and each other. So yeah, that's kind of the most important thing.
Yeah. And talking about becoming authentically me, tell the readers who don't know about the book anything, tell them what is the book all about and what is the target audience and who can pick the book.
Anyone that feels drawn to read it. So it's actually in two parts. So the first part is really about the shifting consciousness and what's happened over the past couple of years and why it's happened, even why COVID happened. And it goes back to the beginning of time, to the Atlanteans. I talk about the galactic civilizations. So that's the first part, and it's very much infused with channeled messages from the many masters, including the Ascended Master Saint Germain. And then the second part is all about my life and everything that
That
I
was
have,
my
that I've
part, my
overcome.
personal
And
part.
yeah, yes, and so everywhere that I've traveled. But you know what's so funny? I've moved more times than my age, which is insane, actually. So I'm pretty much a
But
gypsy.
that's wonderful. I think traveling is so beautiful. I myself travel a lot and I have traveled a lot in 2023. So as we
Yeah.
come to travel, so the book is all about your personal experiences, Sikh Part 2.
Yes.
And
Yes.
anyone can read it, no matter what age.
Yes.
Just need to have a basic understanding. They can read it.
Yes, absolutely. If you're soul searching and you want something different, then I say, and you're drawn to the book and you've seen the cover and you're like, hey, what's this all about? Then pick it up and read it. And when people read it, I always tell them, I don't care if you read it front to back, back to front,
Yeah.
or you just read a chapter, or you just open it on the page, because that would be exactly what you need to read for that day, and it will
It's like
resonate with you.
a card from a tarot deck.
Yes, same thing.
So whenever I also found that if I feel down or if I have marked certain points in the book, I can just go back to them whenever I want to. I think it's that easy to go with. It's a book that taught me that I'm not alone in anything, and there are people who have gone through the same feeling. And acceptance is one of the key learnings from the book, which I really, really appreciate. But the journey of acceptance is quite long.
Yeah.
So how much time you took yourself to accept it the way it is?
Oh my God, I took my sweet time. It took me years. It was really, it was really sometimes, one step forward, two steps back. I call myself as being like a very slow turtle in learning, or suffering from the donkey syndrome, because every time I was given the same experiences, just, in a different wrapping and different characters. And I'm sure the universe up there, my guides are like, hey, Brigitte, are you not finally going to learn? Or are we just going to sit back and, eat the popcorn and see what you're going to make out of it? And it took me many, many years until finally, the pennies started dropping. And it's okay. I mean, it doesn't matter how you decide to experience life. There really isn't any right or wrong, so to speak. It's, I fall back sometimes, and it's okay to slip back as long as you become aware of that. That's the main thing. But do not beat yourself up. And we beat ourselves up about anything. And do you know why we do that? Because we listen to the opinions of others rather than listening to our own beautiful, beautiful heart, our beautiful soul. And that's why I say it's so important just to do what makes your heart sing. And people will say, yeah, but my parents want me to do this, or somebody else wants me to do that, or we're in a relationship. And it's like, but you cannot do that. You cannot do that. Well, you cannot do that. Why are you going out with that person? No, just accept one another as you are. And regardless of all interpersonal relationships, whether, even romantic, it's like accept each other as you are. And if you do not sing from the same hymn sheet anymore, you're like screeching cats towards one another, then just take a deep bow in gratitude and let each other go in love.
Wonderful. I mean, these these are the most wisest words you have spoken till now. Like, just let each other go. And I think 2024 has to be about letting go of what doesn't fit.
Absolutely. I totally agree. And I mean, I don't hate anybody in my life. Yes, I used to be bitter, but I don't. I look back and everyone that's been a part of my life, I look at them and I love them all. I've forgiven them all and I love them all because without them, I
Yeah.
wouldn't be who I am today. And that I just treasure more than anything else.
Absolutely wonderful. And talking about the cover now, the cover is really pretty, it's artistic, it's vibrant, it's still calm and peaceful. So what does the cover define? Do you have the book nearby you?
No, it's
Okay,
downstairs. Do you have it?
okay, no worries at all. But what does the cover define? Because after the session, I'm going to put the cover in the story so people know where to get it from.
Yeah, so the cover actually just tells you about, well, I mean, it was channeled to me, and it's all about our sacred geometrical grid of existence. So you're like sitting in the load in your inner, and I'll do it very, very in layman terms, but it's all about returning to your inner light of self. That's basically it, returning to the light of your inner lotus flower, because it's all about blossoming. And that's just why we're here. We're here to blossom in our and returning to our authentic nature and to that love for ourselves. And yeah, I mean, I love sacred geometry, but I will not get into it too much. The same for quantum physics. I love it, but I won't get into it too much. But yes, return to that love for yourself. It's really finding the light within yourself that you've dimmed, that you've dimmed due to the social conditioning. But and that's really that very much at its core.
Absolutely. And what was your biggest learning or biggest life lesson of 2023?
Yeah, so like I said, I slipped back a little bit. And I worked too much, 60, 70 hours a week continuously. And then I had an international move from the UK to Spain, just to heal up. And like I said, the biggest lesson for me from 2023 was really, take a step back, look at yourself. I really needed to take a good look at myself, and realize that I wasn't going to be doing 70 hours a week anymore. That wasn't serving me. Um, and now it's really, again, about following my passion and doing things that I love doing and just working normal hours until I can transition to doing my light language healing, full time, and the writing full time, that I can keep a roof over my head. Actually, I won't say that because I've already manifested that I will be moving again. So, and there's one thing I do want to add to this about manifestation. If you want to manifest something, then do not say, I will be successful, I am going to be successful. No, just envision that success already in your head, and you've already reached that end point. Like, I have a house in California, or I am in Thailand, or whatever, anything. But envision the end point and then take the steps in between to reach that
Yeah.
point. And it works. Trust me, it does work. It really, really does work.
Wow, wonderful. So you mean just envision it, consider you have already done it, and just
Yes,
walk the bridge.
that's it. That's
Yeah.
what you got to do.
So, yeah.
Because one thing, the mind is the most powerful, the most powerful thing that we have, and we don't realize it. But what you think, you create and you manifest.
Mm, So we manifest our mind.
Yeah, we do.
Even when we curse ourselves, even when we get hard on ourselves, so that gets, unconsciously or, indirectly manifested.
Yeah, we do, because we give ourselves a beating, stop talking negatively about yourself. You're a beautiful being, and stop being so hard on yourself. And if you don't think you're loved, well, I love you.
Actually, that's really refreshing, to hear everything you were saying, because after reading your book, I knew that this is going to be a different session, something very insightful, refreshing, and I think it's exactly what it is. So, Bajita, I want to ask you, like, what was a life-changing experience that has changed your life?
There's a couple, but yeah, I hit rock bottom probably in around 2009. My yeah, my ex at the time was a crack addict, something I didn't know. And I'd never seen someone, and this was in Holland when I was out in Holland, and I'd never seen someone with crack hands before. It was terrible. It was like all the points of his fingers were like burned off because of smoking that crack, and I was just thrown in the deep end. I mean, he pawned my stuff, and then he was taken by the Crips in Holland, which is a gang known in I believe in California, um, and the guy, the head of the Crips in Holland, he took him for ransom and said he had stolen from them. And I mean, I did help the police save his life, but my mom took me out of Holland in the space of like 2, 3 days, and I rented a place not far from her in the UK. And what happened then was the leader of the Crips called me up and he said, if I ever find you, I'm going to kill you. And he's like, if I ever find your ex, he's like, you will never find him because he'll be dead in a ditch somewhere. But I did help the police and they found my ex, and then they freed him and they deported him back to the US. But I made a very lame attempt on my own life by downing a whole box of ibuprofens. And I knew at that point, the next day when I woke up, I didn't have a headache, but I slept like 12 hours. At that point, I knew that I needed help, and I needed to put on my big girl pants and get that help. But I did that through counseling. I went to see a counselor, and you know, I remember this to this day because I also wrote about it. But after the counselor listened to me for like an hour, she's like, Brigitte, you're going to be fine, you're strong enough. And I'm sorry, what am I supposed to do with that? And I left, and I thought, I need to find a healer. And so that was the start of my holistic journey. And yeah, and so I rolled into Reiki, and as I always say, that was my saving grace. Um, and so after that, I studied many more healing modalities, but I also, once I became a Reiki master, I taught Reiki as well. And yeah, I mean, that was really, really, that was tough for me to get out of because I was in so deep. But I managed. I managed to get out. And that was not the only time I hit rock bottom, but that was a turning point.
Yeah. You managed, and you managed it so well, even though it was really difficult, but you really came out stronger. And I congratulate you on that.
Thank you.
So last but not the least, so you said you are a traveler and you travel a lot. So to all the beautiful places you have been, which is your favorite place?
Oh my gosh, there are two. I love St. Petersburg in Florida. Absolutely felt at home there. And Istanbul. Love the history of Istanbul, also the culture. But
Istanbul is the point where it connects the world to all the countries as
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, wonderful. It was really great talking to you, and I'm so excited to read more of your works. I wish you a very good luck. I got that feminine, positive, wonderful energy from you. I was just recharged the way you said hi. So Anyone who is watching, I urge them to go and check out Becoming Authentically Me by Varjita. It's available on Amazon. I think it's available on Barnes and Noble as well. Uh,
Yes.
Go ahead, check it out. And if you read the book, do let me know, because I'm open to discuss it. It's one of my favorite books from 2023. So thank you so much again, Varjita. Really excited to talk with you once again.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed this
Yeah, it
conversation.
was my pleasure. Thank you again. Bye.